Recent news from Pfizer that its vaccine may be more than 90% effective, sending waves of optimism around the world. Now, if those numbers hold, what will the gradual distribution of that vaccine mean for our daily lives?
Yesterday, we talked to ABC News chief medical correspondent, Dr. Jen Ashton, about what to expect. And here is that conversation. What does it mean? Will a vaccine mean getting back to normal?
Well, certainly a lot of optimism on the part of the entire world as to what this could mean. It certainly could be a massive help, but there is still a lot of detail, a lot of data, a lot of information that we still don't know. Hearing that it's more than 90% effective is obviously very good and surprising news, but we need to learn also whether it's effective at reducing the transmission or spread of the virus, not just in making someone sick. And we need to know the durability, so how long that protection will last. And then equally as important, we need to figure out how this vaccine or other vaccines will be able to be injected into a large part of the world's population. And just here in the US, we have never undertaken an immunization campaign of this magnitude. So there are a lot of details yet that we have to figure out.
Dr. Jen, a lot of recent polls have shown that up to half of the respondents say they are very hesitant about taking this vaccine because how quickly it's come through the pipeline. How confident are you that enough will have been done, that enough time will have been spent to make sure that it is effective and safe?
Well, a lot of information that I can share with your viewers on that. First of all, yesterday I spoke with the CEO, Dr. Albert Bourla of Pfizer, and I asked him exactly that question about safety. When they bring this vaccine up for emergency use authorization to the FDA, they'll have about 2.5 or 3 months of safety data. For full FDA authorization, they normally need 6 months, but they will continue to track the safety profile of this and other vaccines for at least 2 years. And I have been in direct communication with top members of the FDA, including Dr. Stephen Hahn, the commissioner, who has told me that they will be making this decision on emergency use authorization based on, quote, undistracted science, not politics. And lastly, you guys, Pfizer, the biggest and only vaccine developer not to accept federal government funding for research and development. So they are truly unbiased in their development of this vaccine. It's about the science, not the politics.
And along those lines, Dr. Jen, I wonder if you can give us some insight into, I guess, the competitive side of this. We know there are 4 vaccines, major vaccines, that are underway being tested. Is there an incentive for these makers to perhaps give out results that aren't as sweet as they may be?
Well, first of all, the safety and efficacy data will be reviewed by independent boards and other people who have nothing to do with financial incentives of those companies. But to be clear, there are many developers who are trying to develop a vaccine because the entire world needs it. So we're talking about potentially up to 2 billion doses of a vaccine by the end of next year. So there is really plenty to go around. And there's always incentive when you talk about pharmaceutical companies, but we have incentives as a society to get this vaccine so we can return to some type of more normal functioning.
ABC News chief medical correspondent, Dr. Jen Ashton, thank you so much for your insights.
You bet.